What's up, everybody? How are we doing? Huh? Happy new moon in Libra. Okay, we're gonna light up the smudgies. You guys can hear me all right? Go ahead and give me a thumbs up or a hello in the chat. How's everyone doing? The technology has been interesting lately. Thank you, Mercury. So we're going to be doing a reading new moon in Libra. Hello, Peter. Welcome in, brother. How are you? So we're just getting some smudgies going. Got a little galactic roundtable playing out here right now. Cool. So today has been a day of very much so watching timelines, but also very much so building this really beautiful personal relationship. You're feeling pressure cooked? Oh, James, I'm sorry, brother. It's definitely, there's a lot going on. We've been watching the timelines all day. I actually got to rest a little bit from doing timeline watch for a little while. But there's a lot of really beautiful things opening up for us. And so as a result, I was guided to go live to do a new moon in Libra reading. We're going to do some Palo Santo too. So yes, the pressure is definitely on. We had a lot of instances of technology getting strained on us too. Apps not working, phone calls dropping out. We want to thank Mercury retrograde, but also too is the sun. We've got a lot of solar flares happening right now too. The sun has been acting up. Today was a day of cosmic surfing, the solar rays again. So that is having an effect on satellites. Yes. So, if you would like to join in on the conversation, you can. I want to thank everyone for coming out. My website is back up and online, actually. So I need to edit it and update it today. I'm also working on building a new Instagram profile. We're just kind of getting everything back up and running. All the links are in the description box, including for donations, right? And I am open for sessions again. Hello. Hello, Melissa. How are you? So we are going to be back open for sessions. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get back up and rolling. Now that I'm settled in, I'm at home temporarily because we are about to embark on another move. Today I was watching the timelines and creating new timelines, and with the new Earth trajectories, I'm trying to get to my next place as quick as possible. So I've got a little bit of rooting in to my new place right now, but that will be shifting very, very, very quickly as things are aligning. All right. So new moon in Libra. Very much so the energy of this moon for myself has been building up a personal relationship with myself again. Making sure that I am feeling supported, focusing on supporting my physical body, really getting better acquainted with my priestess energy, getting better acquainted with my soul and all the activations that have been coming through. And as a result, recognizing that even with this form, that I have a temple and my teachings exist within me. And so there's been this focus. Hello, Grace. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. There's been a focus today on being in sacred ceremony with self, being with the temple, and as a result of being with the temple, is recognizing that within this form is a sacred space within that I have to energetically connect with, and that's where I belong to within myself, right? And within all of ourselves. It's really about building a personal relationship with ourselves and also being able to resolve and dissolve a lot of polarity, right? There's been a lot of as I'm hearing in the collective, right? There's been a lot of instigation happening lately. We've got a lot of peace treaties that are coming about, right? So all of those areas where you might have been fighting right? Aspects of yourselves, especially when we're speaking of like interdimensional warfare and spiritual warfare. There's been a big peace treaty that's gone out, and as those are signing and we are collecting all the signatures, you know, all of those old behaviors are going to have to stop for many of us, across many lifetimes of resolution that are occurring right now. We really are in this passageway of being able to become better acquainted with our higher selves and with our higher self teams, right? With our oversoul. And that's very much so what the energy of this moon has been ramping up for myself and for many others. It's like it's really time to really deepen that connection with the soul, higher self, with our own internal archives, to be able to really truly discover all that we are, to know all that we are, and to be able to share. It's also, how does that express with the world? But it starts with building that really deep sacred connection and that relationship with self, right? And so you might feel like this is now a time to deepen relationships with others, right? With partnerships. Even a focus has been on money. Very much so, focus has been on money. How are you relating to money? How are you relating to finances? How are you relating to your self-esteem bank account, right? Because that's been a big thing. As we're dropping so much polarity and dropping a lot of density, a lot of people I'm finding feel like they don't belong anywhere, right? And so then this is where we come back to the form and recognize that we belong in the form, with the form, as the soul, higher self, right? As the light body, as the indigo, as the as whatever you want to call it or paint it to be, right? And so that's very much so been the connection today. And so I wanted to hop on live, and we're gonna start out. Okay, we're gonna do OG. We're gonna do original Rider-Waite, Moonology, and if we need to expand from there, we'll expand from there. Cool. So how's everyone feeling right now? How's everyone doing? We're doing good. We're doing good. We got some hellos. Yeah, I woke up today feeling really crispy. Like we can tell that I can tell that the energy's coming through, a really deep frying us, right? And it's some really deep alchemy coming online, which is beautiful. But I've been getting deep fried, so I feel a little crispy around the edges. So, okay, so we're gonna start out with Moonology. We're gonna go ahead and just prepare ourselves for this. As always, I want to thank my universal connection, my universal support system, for being here now and for supporting us during this transmission. I want to thank my higher self for being a divine witness of this message and of this miracle that's coming forward for you today. I want to remind you all that you're all miracles, that you're all beautiful magic and beautiful miracles, and you belong here, coexisting and co-creating with humanity, coexisting and co-creating with the divine, coexisting and co-creating with Mother Gaia, coexisting and co-creating with the universe and the universal expression. You have every right to be here. All of your desires can come to you here and now, as long as you can consciously choose to believe, right? But we are ready at this time now to belong again, to ourselves, to belong with one another, to belong with our families, to belong in society. Especially if you feel like you've been a fringe dweller or fray dweller for far too long. It's really very much so about coming out of our spiritual closet and really stepping into what it really is to be unity consciousness. All right, so a part of that being unity consciousness is, it's not just saying, it's doing it, right? It's not just playing in the babble of that, right? It's not just playing and we say it because it's cool. We actually do it because we are that, right? And a part of that is that with unity consciousness is, if we are here to be believing that, right, and propagating those pathways of being unified, it starts with self. It begins and ends with self. We have to unify with self, but also we have to be able to be seen, noticed, felt, witnessed within the world as well. Now, always use your discernment, right? Use your discernment. There's this journey right now, though. Right now, we're very much so in an accelerated rate of forward momentum, right? It's like the gas pedal is on hyperdrive. I actually have a reading coming out. I don't know if it posted yet, but it's about the 1010 gateway, and it was I did that with Toth and Ra, and it very much so, it was hyperdrive. Like right now, we're at terminal velocity. October is very accelerated for all of us, and I think we're all feeling it at some level. Technology can't even keep up with us half the time. It's kind of funny to do that, right? So as a result, rest and self-care are a big part of this process right now, that are shifting. Also, there's revelations coming, guys. Yesterday was an interesting moment. for myself, where I noticed there was this point of almost like a reset, like a grid reset that occurred here on the land that I'm in. And I came outside and there was a double rainbow. It was so gorgeous. Like, it was like I woke up from a nap and I went right outside and bam, right there was a double rainbow. And it was like that sign, right? That sign. But as a result too, there's a lot of different aspects of ourselves that are coming out. And there's a lot of systems that are collapsing, and as a result, that always leads to revelation. And so, whatever is sparking within humanity right now is also going to spark an increase in, you know, various things. So please, like, feel safe, right? Find a place to feel safe. If you feel like it's not a good day to go out in the collective, don't go out into the collective, right? Hello, welcome. Ooh, I like that. Druid of Gaia. I like that name. So, so yeah, definitely support your physical body, right? Support your physical body right now. Hello, Soul School. Welcome in, sweetie. Support your physical body. You know, for myself, it's been really about making sure that I'm treating myself, and taking moments, of course, to make sure that I'm really taking care of the form with all the activations coming through, all the soul aspects coming back, connecting deeper with my higher self and my soul, right? Soul integrity is a must right now. Right, soul integrity is a must. It's not compromising. Like, zero room for give. Right, on what our soul needs, what our soul desire is, and what our soul is here to create through the form. Right, and yeah, it might feel strange sometimes to have certain aspects of you come forward and want to create certain projects, right? And to create certain, you know, sustainable economy or sustainable communities, right? Whatever those big projects are, those big desires are, now is the time more than ever to start calling forward all the resources to be able to do it, because they are available to us. We are tapping into it, and it's being created here and now. And that's that. So we're going to go in first off into the Moonology. I want to see for this new moon in Libra, October 6, 2021. What does the collective need to know? What aspects of them are we working with for this new moon in Libra? So we're going to be working with the Moonology deck to see what wants to come forward and through for us, for the collective. And as always with the new moon, we any of these, especially with full moon passageways, too, 3 days before, 3 days after, we are coming up on a 10-10 gateway too, and this gateway is going to be a massive acceleration. And according to the magics, there's a lot of magical stuff that's coming online for all of us, and I'm feeling it myself ramping up. So, of course, this is kind of like the initiation point that's going to start tomorrow for the ramp up into 10-10. And so we will find an acceleration of energies, and we will be having fun with 10-10. And that reading is going to be online. It's still uploading. My internet is a little slow. And that's okay. It's a beautiful thing. I'm quite happy with where I'm at. So what do we need to know from the Moonology deck? We're going to shuffle 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah. Perfect. 3 cards. Cool. So first card out. Don't let your past hold you back. I'm fighting this for myself as well. Very much so. It's really about allowing yourself to be new. This is when I was speaking of the Libra new moon about building that better relationship with self, right? That better relationship with all. It's also making sure that because of this, there's a new version of you that is aspiring to come alive here and now, right? October is very much going to accelerate this version of you coming forward, right? So as a result, as it's coming forward, the cellular body might still be holding on to some memories. There's been a lot of past life clearing that's been occurring, a lot of karmic debt that has been wiped all across the board, scales, Libra, balance, everything coming into balance, right? So as we're clearing this stuff, there's a new version of you that wants to come online and come forward with this new moon, right? What is that new version of you? What is that new aspect of you, right? What are you preparing to receive? Because this very much so is a moon for myself. I've been calling forward new timelines. I've been calling forward new gifts, new abilities, right? Really coming into my full presence of self. So for yourself, right? With this, don't allow the past version of you to come forward, anymore. It might creep in a little bit, right? Because that old story might come in, that old thought form, that old pattern, or that old person. We're also, Mercury retrograde, right? The X comes back. Oh shit, here it comes, right? So, being silly here, but very much so. Don't let your past hold you back right now, right? Don't let the past version of you to affect this now moment. Yes, past, present, and future all coexist in the now, but there is a new aspect of you that wants to come forward and through. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Ariel. Good to see you. There's a new aspect of you that wants to come forward and through. Allow that person to initiate the transformation of you now, right? Because there is very much so a new version of you that is trying to come online, right? And even myself, I'm still in an integration period as we're in a pathway of like very much so rapid fire acceleration of the energetics. It's very much so making sure that we are taking that time to rest, because this new version of self, we have to fully integrate codes. We have to integrate the wisdom from what we've been clearing as well, right? And so allow that to settle all the way in, because you might find little past parts of you creeping up, and maybe some stale or stuck energies that are coming to the surface. There's been a lot of I've been noticing, shadow purge, night side clearing that's been happening, with a lot of my peoples and even with myself, right? So it really does require us, through those moments, to take time out and to make sure we're not projecting onto other people, right? Not meaning ill will or harm onto others because we're currently in a wound. Gift yourself the opportunity to feel the anger, to feel fully. If you're mad, if you're pissed, if you're enraged, if you're sad, right? Get to the root of it. Feel what you need to feel. Let it out. Don't keep the poison alive, right? Because I've been noticing that there's still some people that want to project, especially as the really, really wounds are coming to the surface, right? So as a result, feel fully what you need to feel, right? Feel fully what you need to feel, as this new aspect of you is coming online, and you are still in the birthing sequence of birthing this new aspect, and the old part of you is shedding its layers, or dying or rising from the ashes, right? Because this is very much so the energy of the phoenix coming through, and the death and rebirth cycles are happening at a more and more accelerated rate. So next we have disseminating moon. Take time to breathe out. Take time to breathe out. So it's funny because it makes me think of so when we're in accelerated energies, you guys know the little handle on the car, the little handle where you can put your hand on. We call it the oh shit handle, right? And when we're in that accelerated energies, it's like being in that Ferrari and you're like, oh shit, where are we going? What are we doing? What's going on? Take time to breathe out and relax through everything coming up, right? Because it really is when we soften into that open, malleable, formless texture, right? And allow ourselves to just kind of melt into the energies that are coming in, it's going to give us that moment to really take that time out to relax. Especially when it comes to self-care, when we are in accelerated cycles of awakening and accelerated paths of ascension, which includes physical body symptoms, right? And then things happening all across the globe, revelations, right? People still going through their experiences and feeling the collective. Take time out to be at peace with yourself, really. Please take time out to be with yourself. It's going to be very, very, very important, to make sure that you are taking that time out to breathe. And then finally it says your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. All right. Your hard work is paying off. And especially with all the planets that are about to go direct right now too, when all those planets go direct, I feel like we're going to see an incoming stream of those. So if there's been a delay in desires for you, or a delay in being able to receive, let's just see what happens when everything goes direct. Because when all those planets that have been retrograde are going direct, we're going to start seeing an acceleration. I feel that very much so too. This is also that reminder that, like, to be gentle with yourself and to let yourself know that, like, even though you might not see, like, because I've noticed even for myself, the shifts are very subtle externally, right? So as you're waiting the reality to catch up, right, try to tune into 0 point as much as possible, right? What's 0 point? 0 point for myself, as I see it, is the middle path between the all thing and the no thing, right? So we have the all thing and the nothing. We have the everything. And for me, 0 point is right in the middle, right? It's like that fresh slate. When I talk about 0 point, a lot of it for me is just coming back into the center of the heart and just being there. Being there. Because the reality, even if you're not seeing the payoff of of the work you've been doing, it's going to come. And I feel like Jupiter definitely has a focus in that. And when Jupiter goes direct, we're going to see a shift in that as well. Timeline jumps. Yeah, let's jump timelines. All right, timeline jumping. Timeline jumping. All right, so now we're gonna go deeper into this new moon in Libra. And it's interesting, this new moon in Capricorn energy. Okay, so this is another aspect that I've been noticing too, is there has been a little bit more of this Capricorn vibe occurring too. Like, even though things aren't paying off, you keep the grind moving. And I've noticed for myself, there's something about keeping the wheels turning and keeping the momentum going forward, regardless of if you're experiencing some sort of reward, right? There's light at the end of the tunnel, and there is this forward march, forward momentum through the acceleration. Like, just keep doing what you're doing, right? As the timelines are shifting and we're merging with new timelines, right? And we're clearing out a lot of the old cellular model, all the old programming, all the old cellular belief systems, and we're activating that new, right? New inheritance, right? New abundance, new truth, new clarity. Just keep the momentum forward, right? We don't want to let, like, there is those periods of rest and reflection, right? But the energy, even for myself, has been, regardless, do a little bit every single day to keep the momentum forward. Just keep it going. We don't want to lose the pace of what we're on, because with the pathways and the timelines and how much they're accelerating and how fast we're jumping, we want to keep moving, but we also want to slow down as well and be mindful of the steps, right? This is why that take a breath out is very clear right now, is it's also be mindful. Where am I going, right? What am I doing? What aspect of me am I embodying here now, right? What am I, when I'm speaking, am I speaking from autopilot or am I speaking from consciousness? Right? When I'm sharing, right, on social media, when I'm watching the news, right? Like, am I mindful of what I'm watching and what I'm receiving here? This is really about it's a forward momentum, and while the energetics and the timelines and the quantum jumping and shifting might be fast, it requires us to really find what our pace is to make sure we are mindfully moving through the experience, right? It's about that new direction with the heart compass, right? The heart compass coming online and allowing the soul, the higher self, to guide. But it is every day doing a little bit to shift momentum, but to also change routine. We don't want to get stuck in patterns right now. Okay. When we get stuck in those patterns and we get stuck in those routines, same thing. This is when we start to get into Groundhog's Day. Okay. So we're clearing out all the looping and all the echo programs, right? The songs of yesteryear that keep playing into this now moment. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm not that person anymore. Why is it coming up? Well, it's coming up so it's to dissolve. Like, multidimensionally speaking, there's a lot of systems that have been keeping those echo programs alive, and we're in the midst of trying to clear all that patterning out and literally rearrange our entire lives. So creating that new routine every single day, but it's those mindful steps, that mindful walk to just keep swimming, right? And like, yo, Finding Nemo here. Got my Nemo toy, right? Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, right? And very much so, a very important focus to keep the momentum and the ball rolling forward. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into, yeah, there's been also too, guys, don't play into the narrative of that the world is gonna end, right? Just keep pushing through. Yeah, just keep swimming, but don't play into the pathways of the Armageddon timelines, because they're up right now and there's a full removal that's going through with it. So please, you can speak whale too. Awesome. So original rider rate. New moon in Libra. And also take time out. What do you want to create in your life, guys? Because there's so many timelines opening, and as we're stepping more into our creative abilities and creator consciousness, we are weaving our timelines and our realities with the collective field and with our planetary ascension process. What do you want to create? What do you want to see for the world, right? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to share? Make sure that you are taking time to do whatever ritual or ceremony it is for you to be able to create that, and keep calling it forward into existence. Remind yourself, I'm abundant, I'm loved, I'm taken care of, right? Don't let, ooh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. There's that Capricorn energy coming in. Ooh, okay. All right. Wow. So we've got 3 major arcana on the board, which is good. So this is going to be major, right? So first out, we have the Devil card, right? There is a have on board. We have the devil. We have the Eight of Swords. So we are speaking of a little bit of the entrapment and imprisonment theme, right? So with the devil card and temperance, right? There is a night. There is almost like this night side of alchemy that's coming forward, but it's got a good purpose, and I found this in my own life. As we're awakening our magics, right? As we're awakening the magic people, not everything is puppy farts, rainbows, and sunshine. But there's also this acceleration, like a little bit of this energy is like we kind of have like the devils and the angels working together, right? Like we're all on the same team. This is very much so about balancing your light side and your night side, and recognizing that the magic of yesterday, right? Which is don't let your past hold you back. And this is also about your viewpoints, guys. This is very much so about your perspective. When I started to awaken to my magic and I started to awaken to my gifts and abilities, there's a lot of parts of me that was speaking about harmonizing and balancing these two energies together, speaking about harmonizing and balancing this level of alchemy. What we were doing is we are learning about all the shades and areas and colors of ourselves, right? There are many paths back to the one. Others choose the gray. I find myself to be more of a gray man, right? Like I try to stay as middle path as possible, even though I did get caught in the love and light stuff for a really, really long time. Everything is love, right? And so a part of this returning this to balance too is that we're gifting ourselves the operation as well, right? And a part of that is because when it comes to soul integrity, right? Soul integrity, it requires us to listen and to not compromise at a soul level. What does our soul need, right? What does our physical body need? What kind of people do we need to be surrounding ourselves with, right? And that's a part of this balance. This too is very much so speaking about the structures that are falling, right? The control systems, right? But also too, yeah. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about looshing a little bit because that's been coming through a little bit too. There's been some time, right? Some strange things are right. Call in sacred space while you're going through dream time in your dream scope. Also too is you can work with your higher self to plan out where you're going in dreamscape. So if you're someone who astral projects a lot, right, and you are someone who does that work, right, make sure you're calling in your guards and your guides. Make sure when you wake up in the morning that you're properly cleansing your fields, right? In what ways could you do that? For myself, I go outside and ground. So go outside and ground. um I ground out my energy. I very much so sage and smudge, right? I have different kinds of smudge. I use sage, I use santo. I have dragon's blood. I can't find my dragon's blood right now, and it's really pissing me off. And I want to find my freaking dragon's blood, but I had dragon's blood resin that I was using as well. In the morning when you wake up, ground out your astral body, right? Command a clearing of your space. Close all portals from escape, right? Do what you can to feel safe and nurtured while you're going through the dream realities, because there is a lot of strange illusion stuff. And if that's going down, don't worry, it's getting taken care of. You won't be bothered by it anymore. Trust that. Trust that. So with temperance, this is very much so about alchemy, right? This is about that energy to me of transformation. And the way that this card is produced is that they used to, it's like kind of like mixing, how is it, mixing oil and water and being able to pass it through the two cups until you dilute both. You can separate both of those frequencies. So basically right now, this is a dissolving of polarity that we're going through under this gateway, right? Under this gateway. But it's also about recognizing that we are in a process of transformation, and it is our night side that is coming back into some sort of balance, right, in our lives. And they are coming back into balance right now. They are ascending. So next we have Eight of Swords and Knight of Swords, right? And I feel like to myself the way that this is coming through is being mindful of the energy of the savior. And this charismatic high horse energy that's been kind of coming through and rifling along, right? Like, we're going to save the men, women, and children, which is very much so true, right? But this is also to speaking to me about programming right now. Being mindful of the savior program, being mindful that we're not the sacrificial lamb, that we're also not the savior, right? But all this is coming back to your hard work is paying off. Remember when we were talking about earlier, you might feel like things aren't coming to fruition, like you're doing it, but nothing's coming of it, right? The Eight of Swords energy is kind of reminding me of that, and also reminding us that don't worry, it's coming in. Like, it's coming in hot and fast, right? What you want, what you're calling forward is coming in hot and fast. And the Empress card to me of the divine goddess. There has been this awakening of the goddess, even within the male form. Today, very interesting. Night, and this morning, I woke up and was like, basically, they're like, you need to you need to learn about the lunar cycles and how your energy, like you actually kind of have a period. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, you have a moon cycle that you're going to become better acquainted with, because you act in, of course, a very different way than a feminine's body does, but it's about honoring those cycles. And there's this really much so rising up of this energy of the nurture, right? The energy of the nurturing qualities, the taking care of self, that's very much so been coming up today. And it's really about build it, go out and get them. Maybe it's time to step into a little bit more of your Empress energy, just to make sure, yeah, is rising up, right? So we're rising up in the collective, that all of the collective is going to do that because we're magic, right? So as everyone's going through their stages of acceleration and awakening, right? The collective itself might be a little bit into this go get 'em tiger energy, right? For us, a part of our mastery and balance is very much so coming into this softening of allowing, right? And allowing that presence to not sway us or move us in any direction, right? There is something about really standing firm in the luxurious version of yourself in the form as the body that's really important right now. And not luxury from a sense of elitism, but like such a deep knowing of self-worth and self-value that it radiates out through the form. And as the energies are increasing, right, especially as we're feeling this wanting to break down the systems, right, break down the control structures, right? If there are people are your soul, follow your higher self, what your higher self is telling you to do. But it's very much so asking us, like, kind of take the high ground a little bit because of the new timelines that are opening up, right? New magic, new timelines, Ace of Wands popping in. So we've got a new timelines that are opening up, and we don't want to propagate or to propagate the timeline that we're on, right? So we have to use our focus and our conscious awareness of every choice that we're making. Is it propagating a third dimensional timeline, or is it propagating a fourth dimensional or fifth dimensional or even hot timeline? Because there are people that are on ninth dimensional pathways. There are guys. So about this is about being very mindful of that we are propagating and landing on those timelines that are harmonious, that are balanced, that are love, that are unique to us, that are abundant and that are prosperous. We recently, I've been on a few of those, third dimensional timelines, and they whooped my butt. And I had not been in them for a very long time. And so with the new timelines opening, let's make sure that what is our choice during the day? Are we choosing that love? Are we choosing that forgiveness? Are we choosing that sacred essence? Are we choosing that nurturing quality? Are we choosing the goddess within? Are we choosing from our higher self aspect, or are we choosing from the human? When we're making a choice, where is this choice coming from, right? A part of us understanding what it is to be a multidimensional creator and a multidimensional in a body is we've got many different aspects throughout the day that are weaving in and out of our consciousness, right? And so as aspects are unifying with self, they're unifying with the body, they're unifying with us as the light. We want to make sure that with our timelines in this awareness, what aspect of me is of separation, but humans like measurement, to dial into that pathway. We're trying to dial into that pathway that is going to feel the best for us, and we want to secure our seat on that pathway. Just like the Empress is coming up right here. It's very much so, guys, where's your seat at the table? Right? Oh, I'm lagging? Oh, well, that's just the way it goes. Thank you for letting me know. But yeah, so with the glitches, electronics are in and out. That's a thing. We want to make sure that we're securing our seat on these pathways that are opening up for ourselves here and now. Here and now. Which is a part of Mercury retrograde. Next, we've got Knight of Wands. Yes. So this is once again, once this timeline opens up for ourselves, guys, because he's holding the wand, he's holding the timeline, it is going to be fast and it's going to be fiery. So we want to make sure that when we anchor in this pathway in these new dimensional realities, that they can feel like they move very quickly. You have earned your seat on these timelines that are opening up for you now, right? So a big recently, right, is it's making sure that we are finding creative stability in our pathways, and that we're for us here and now are opening up any possibilities. But once again, we're coming back with that discernment, right? With the Seven of Cups, we're coming back into that not everything that glitters is gold. Using our discernment when we're making the choices, right? Are we choosing from that various interdimensional version that is choosing the best and greatest for us, or are we choosing from that aspect that might lead us down rabbit hole or lead us into a stinky pile of poop, which we don't want to do, right? We want to make sure that we are washing off the brown turds and we are coming back into the light of all that we are. Choice is yours, friends. Choice is yours. You've got freedom, free will, autonomy, and sovereignty here. But with the pathways that are opening up, there is a lot of choice point, and a part of this is you are a creator. Where do you want to go? What do you see or perceive? Is it still laggy? I might ask. Is it still laggy? Or can you hear me okay? Ah, here we go. Ace of Pentacles. We got a download coming in. Still laggy? Okay. Ace of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. There we go. So there is some download. And it's okay. We're just gonna keep rolling with it. We'll keep rolling with the thunder, rolling in the deep, right? So with the Ace of Pentacles and me speaking of the 10 gateway, collect your codes, right? But also go much you into a new direction. The new gifts, the new insights, the new abilities, the new strengths, right, that you're coming forward, this new level of abundance, this new security that's coming in for you. It's helping you to turn the karmic wheel in your favor. So what's beautiful is that this is very much so a gift from the divine, saying that yes, with these new timelines that are opening up, they're going to be fast moving. We're going to have lots more options, right? But also, once again, use our discernment, because we're still clearing stuff. We still have, some of us might still have ego identity patterns that we're still working through, parental programming, things like that. This is about just being mindful of what our choice is. But very much so, the universe is gifting us an opportunity to create in a new way, to receive in a new way, and to make sure that the karmic wheel is turning in our favor, because we are ready. It is our time to ascend. It is our time to ascend, and it's our time to receive everything that we're meant to be, right? But let's make sure that we are giving back to Mother Earth. This is very much so the energy of as above, so below, right? So this is, to me, about making sure that our creative balance is intact, that we are giving and we are receiving, but we are also giving back to Mother Earth. That's right. That's right. Some of the same cards are coming through. So with the Star card, we're talking about that balance, as above, so below. But also, it's making sure that when we nurture others, we nurture the soul. When we nurture the soul, we nurture the self. Let's make sure we nurture others. This is about coming back into balance. So yes, it is a time of healing, right? But the Star, very much so right now, is very much so speaking about making sure that when we are giving back, when we are giving to ourselves, we give back to Gaia. When we give to ourselves, we give to another person, right? It's making sure that we are keeping the flow and the momentum coming forward, because a part of this download from this Ace of Pentacles is, guys, the abundance that you want in this world, it's coming. Like the wheel is turning in our favor, but as a result, though, we can't get selfish with it. We have to make sure we're giving back, right? We have to make sure that we're using the resources that are coming forward for us, and we're using it for good, and we're not playing in the old world, right? We're not playing in the old world. It's making sure that we are using these things for good. Ooh, the Emperor. Okay, there we go. Okay, masculines, right? Now energetically wise, we all hold the masculine, right? But this is kind of like masculine. I feel like you might be sitting on a little bit of why hasn't it come yet, right? Looking at your creations, why haven't they flourished? Remember, your hard work is paying off, okay? Wait until everything goes direct. Wait until everything goes direct. We're going to see a shift. But I feel like in this energy, there might be some sort of masculine energy out there that's going, guys, why hasn't it shown up? Why haven't I harvested this new beginning, this new timeline, this new pathway? Why hasn't it shown up for me? Well, let's go ahead and go back to the foundations, right? Let's go back to the foundations. Let's go back in, because we don't want to, you know, I'm hearing it's a little bit of history repeating. There might be a pattern that you've been falling into, and it's time to clear that pattern, because the way things are moving right now, just hop on this timeline and don't worry about it. I'm going to leave it very simple. Just hop on the timeline and don't worry about it, because the portal's here, right? The portal's here. You're standing in the portal right now. Welcome. Okay. Now that you're in this portal, just kick back, relax. Let's all have some fun, right? Kick back, relax. Let's all have some fun. And let's create some really cool, beautiful trajectories for the world. And then, yeah, Queen of Wands. There we go. Let's create some magic. So, and so, yes, Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. This is very much so us embodying more of our magic. We have the Knight of Wands here, the Queen of Wands. This is about trusting trusting what is creating once again. To keep it very, very simple and very brief with the way that I'm reading cards now, because my way of reading and style of reading is shifting and changing, right? Is that this is very much so about that we're starting out this timeline, a new timeline, as the Knight of Wands, and we're ending it with the Queen of Wands. There's very much so this this safety blanket of magic that is holding this timeline in place. Okay? There is this energy that there is this sacred magic and this divine purpose that's holding this timeline to not worry. Just get on the timeline and allow the magic to kind of hold you. of the timeline. Allow the creative passion and the creative pursuit to hold you. This is very much so kind of like a little bit of a divine guardian or divine mother aspect, some sort of divine protection in a way, a divine shield that is holding this timeline in place, that's opening up for all of us. So whatever it is that you're creating for the highest good of all and for the highest good of humanity, just note that this this pathway that you're on is very much so divinely guided, it's supported, and it is protected. And to just, you know, relinquish all the fears, right, of subjugation, relinquish the fears of being taken over or taken advantage of, because it's that's a part of the old programming that's coming up to the surface. Yeah, Ace of Cups. Whatever's coming through right now, it's going to be very emotionally abundant for us, right? You're being gifted the opportunity to find your holy grail. What is your grail, right? What is your key? What is your fire letter? What is your spark or ignition point? Where is your emotional security, right? And in what areas or realms do you feel emotionally abundant? Like your well-being is very much so being taken care of. Because when it comes into the unity focus and us coming forward with the tribe as the tribe, we also want to make sure that when the pathways are securing, where do you go where you feel like you're taken care of and you're supported energetically and emotionally, right? Because we want to make sure that we're feeling that support right now, because this is about building a support network. And as we're building that support network, we want to make sure we are aligning with that crystalline support network and those crystalline visions and crystalline people that are going to be able to assist us in feeling that emotional support and making sure that our emotional well-being is taken care of, that we're not going to be taken advantage of, right? To make sure that when we are co-creating with the divine, right? When we're co-creating with other people, we're meeting up, we're unifying, right? We're coming together to build that our emotional well-being is taken care of and we're not going to be taken advantage of, right? Woo! Whoa, okay. Okay. Knight of Pentacles wants to offer us another timeline shift. Knight of Pentacles and Ace of Swords. There is an offering of a timeline that is coming forward for about 5% of you, I'm hearing. Someone's coming forward with some sort of offer, right? This offer is an initiation, because afterwards I am seeing the Death card. This is that energy of transformation that's coming forward. So for some of you, there is some sort of offering coming in of a new pathway that's opening up for you, right? And it is going to bring in some form of transformation for you, but it does end in the King of Cups. So this to me is almost speaking of a little bit of Pluto retrograde, which I believe Pluto's still retrograde. I feel like Pluto is working with us to bring in some sort of multidimensional aspect to clear all the fear out. Interesting. Interesting. I've never thought of that one before in those cards. Is there one more card, one more thing that we want to say for the collective? Yeah. Okay. Make sure you're giving as the child. With the child. There's something about our divine innocence that when we are out in the world, making sure that we're seeing the divine innocence within all and we're sharing that. That we're sharing this divine innocence guilt-free, right? But we're also initiating the invitation for all to come back into their child. There's something about the child that wants to come through with the Page of Pentacles here. That making sure that when we are going through this passageway and this portal and these timeline shifts, that we're not only giving to the inner child, but we're also gifting by sharing as that child. But it's not the wounded child, right? We're coming through as the initiated divine child. Does that make sense? And sharing as that, because there's something really abundant about that frequency when we share that with the world that's going to facilitate in the shifts and the timelines that we're purifying right now out of our fields. Okay. Cool. So that is the new moon. So guys, thank you so much for coming out. We're going to keep it short and sweet. I'm not going to go for hours tonight. very much so interesting with the timelines that are opening up for ourselves right now. And yeah, it's very much so a time to get better acquainted with ourselves, right? Working on our relationship with self, relationship with our aspects, right? With our higher self, with our soul. Want to start pursuing new relationships, pursuing new goals, pursuing new dreams, pursuing new visions. By all means, take time to rest, but also take time to honor the jumps and the leaps that are occurring, because stabilizing at the new baseline frequency, it does require a lot of practice, and there's a lot of stuff shifting and changing, right? So I love you guys. My calendar is open. So I'm about to change up over at the newer people. There's some great articles I wrote, some cool pictures from grid work and cool Andara activation photos I have there, and I still have some Andaras for sale. I'm actually going to be working on getting the rest of my crystal collection up on a full liquidation of selling out, but shifting out a lot of old energies and inviting in new for ways to come to support newer projects and newer build-outs. So I'll be putting more Andaras up on the site. A lot of personal ones too that I've had for a little while, so start cleaning up and cleaning out. And yeah, we're gonna do a lot of revision, a lot of revisiting, and a lot of refocusing. So if you'd like a session, you can reach out to me, foundersoflight@gmail.com. I also will have them up. And yes, if you'd